Why do we all love funny stories? You should begin by making a list of funny stories you know, and then brainstorming characteristics that describe those funny stories. Do you know AAA Hill's funny stories? How well do you remember any stories? Tell me about one. You should pause the video clip for 5 minutes, work on your own or in the group. As a child, I loved sitting on my grandfather's lap while he read me stories. I remember most of them even though I am now a grandparent, too. As a child, I was blissfully unaware that, as I listened to the stories, I was also learning new words and ways in which those new words combined to communicate ideas and life lessons. A good story encourages us to turn the next page and read more. We want to find out what happens next and what the main characters do and what they say to each other. We may feel excited, sad, afraid, angry, or really happy. This is because the experience of reading or listening to a story is much more likely to make us feel that we are part of the story, too. Just like in our real lives, we might love or hate different characters in the story. Perhaps we recognize ourselves or others in some of them. Perhaps we have similar problems. Because of this natural empathy with the characters, our brains process the reading of stories differently from the way we read factual information. Our brains don't always recognize the difference between an imagined situation and a real one, so the characters become alive to us. What they say and do is therefore more meaningful. This is why the words and structures that relate to stories, events, descriptions, and conversations are processed in this deeper way. Dave's New Shirt by Leslie A. Hill. Dave married, and when his new wife saw the clothes in his cupboard, she said, "Dave, you have only got one good shirt. The others are very old, and they've got holes in them. I'm going to buy you a new one this afternoon." Dave liked his old shirt, but he loved his wife too, so he said, "All right, Beryl, but please don't throw any of the old ones away." Dave went to work, and when he came back in the evening, Beryl said to him, "Look, Dave, I've bought you a nice shirt. Here it is. Put it on." Dave put the shirt on, and then he said, "Look at the sleeves, Beryl. They're too long." "That's all right," Beryl answered. "They'll get shorter when I wash the shirt." Then Dave said, "But the neck's too small." "That's all right," Beryl answered. "It'll get bigger when you wear the shirt, Dave." Word outside the 1000 sleeve. You can pause the video clip while read aloud the funny story. Next, you should work together in small groups to read, discuss, and analyze funny story. If your student is reluctant to read or has little confidence in their ability to read in another language, you might help them by reading the story to them, stopping when necessary to interact and ask questions like, "What do you think will happen next?" If you read to your student in a relaxed and fun way, they will subconsciously relate to the reading and language learning process more confidently and positively. Of course, being read to by a teacher, for whatever reason, is also simply a lovely way to share quiet and close time. Answer the following questions. 1. Why did Beryl want to buy Dave a new shirt? 2. Why didn't Dave want his wife to throw any of his old shirts away? 3. Why didn't Dave like the sleeves of his new shirt? 4. What did Beryl say about the sleeves? 5. Why didn't Dave like the collar of the shirt? 6. What did Beryl say about the collar? Opposites. Write these sentences. Put one word in each empty place. 1. New clothes do not have holes in them, but ones sometimes do. 2. Sleeves don't get when you wash them. They get shorter. 3. Good shirts are not cheap. They are. 4. The neck of Dave's shirt wasn't too big. It was too. 5. Dave loved his old shirt, but he his new one. In fact, cultures all around the world have always used storytelling to pass knowledge from one generation to another. Our ancestors understood very well that this was the best way to make sure our histories and information about how to relate to others and to our world was not only understood, but remembered too. Notice that the word history contains the word story. More accurately, the word story derives from history. Encouraging your student to read or listen to stories should therefore help them to learn a second language in a way that is not only fun, but memorable. The experience of reading or listening to a story allows us to escape our own lives for a moment and live in another one in a fun and safe way. In the same magical experience, a goldmine of language may be learned, so to encourage your student to read stories in their second language as well as their first. Stories don't only offer the young reader a chance to read. The experience also creates an opportunity to talk about the story. As a teacher, you can encourage your student to describe their favorite person, part of the story or picture. The creativity might be developed by drawing new story pictures or even by writing their own short stories as a result.